Hey everybody, Nettie Owens here with Sapari Solutions, and we're back again with what every business owner needs to know right now. I've brought Amy Lindner-Lesser with me, and she's just an amazing woman that you're going to say, why didn't I know her before? When I tell you about all the things that she's doing, and especially about the topic that she's bringing to the table. This isn't a topic for everyone, but there are quite a few of you out here for whom this applies very directly to, and you're probably thinking, I needed this information. Amy Lindner-Lesser is the proprietor of the Rookwood Inn, which she began that role in 1996 with her husband, and she also wears many other hats, such as social worker, justice of the peace, minister, and life coach. Welcome, Amy, to our live today. I'm so glad you're here. Was there anything you'd like to add to that?
Nettie, thank you so much for asking me to come on. I'm also somebody who's gone through all kinds of life transitions. I'm a parent of 2 adult children. A quarter, I guess. Mm-hmm. Just found out I'm going to have another child. And I was a caregiver for my mother and stepfather for the last 5 years of their lives.
Wow.
So I've had lots of business experience and personal experience. I've also been running the inn now for almost 21 years on my own. My husband passed away 2.5 years after buying the inn, which was something I never expected to be facing.
Yeah.
Either single parenting or owning a business and operating it on my own.
Oh my goodness. You really have hit just about every life transition and life experience that one could have in a lifetime, and yet still so upbeat and still so ready to share and help others. And that's what I absolutely love about you. Recently, you've turned that energy and attention to a new adventure, I would say, but certainly not new to you. And that is as the co-founder's coach. And in this program, you are helping couples who are in business together. And I think this is so relevant right now because we have so many folks at home. They're operating their business. There used to be some time when they could escape from all of this joint venturing that they're doing, but now there's not. So, what would you say to the business owners that are running a business together, that are living together, that are loving together, that are raising a family together, and suddenly, like, there's no space in the house, there's no space in the office. What are you supposed to do?
And one of the things I've realized is that with all of us being stuck at home or privileged to be at home, people who never work together, they may have their own businesses, are now working together because they're sharing space. Mm. What I found in our first 2 years of owning an inn, where we lived here and worked together, was it was really important to have very clearly defined roles. And, each of us found what our strengths were, what we would agree to do, and what we would agree to let the other person do, so that we didn't have arguments about whose responsibility it was. It was really clearly defined.
And that's perfect. And what you just said really resonated with me. So I've been thinking about co-founders as, and the people that you serve as people who are intentionally in business together. But now that we're all home, we're almost just by de facto in business together. My husband is working upstairs, and he has a paid 9-to-5 job, and I'm running my business downstairs. The kids are doing school just outside of this door. Mm-hmm. And so now, we're all in this situation. So defining those roles really clearly, I think that makes so much sense as a first step.
What you mentioned is also really important. Having very clearly delineated spaces, mm-hmm. so that you're not sort of pushing each other out of the chairs so that the next person.
Yes, absolutely. So having
Your space, that it's delineated. You're not in a corner in the dining room or a corner in the kitchen where everybody is walking through. For those of us who've been used to having an office to go to where we don't have the interruptions of our children or our spouse, it's a new game.
Yes.
The other thing is find ways to separate, whether it's ways when things get sort of heated, whether it's a decision or just somebody's emotions get out of hand, be able to separate physically. So it could be leaving the room and working in a different space. It could be getting up and going out and taking a walk. It could be what I used to do is I'd be like, oh, we need to go food shopping. I'll do that. Food shopping. It is one of my least favorite things, but it was a way for me to get out and get away from business and have to think about something else.
Absolutely. Yes. And, so I guess there's an acknowledgement that
really important.
It doesn't have to be all
Right.
together all the time. So that's a really good awareness that we can have our own space. We can meet with our customers separately. That it's kind of an extension of the clearly defined roles is clearly defined spaces and clearly defined breaks in the time we have together. So one other thing I just wanted to kind of point out to our listeners here is what you're doing is not just as the co-founders coach, but you're also a brick and mortar because you're the proprietor of the Rookwood Inn. And I think brick and mortars have been hit harder in this particular time because their customer base has been just completely cut off, and they have a harder time pivoting. So I was wondering, is there some missing piece? Is there something that, that these businesses can be doing that they're not right now that might help their situation?
For some businesses, it's not terribly hard to pivot, that there may be ways to take things online. But for many of us, I know I struggled for the first few weeks. Like, how do I take an inn where the experience is come get away from what's stressing you and come to our building and relax? I can't take that really and bring it anywhere else. What I've done is we've developed packages so you can bring our experience home with you, and those are available online. And then what I think is so important is to find other businesses either in the same field that you're in or maybe even in a completely different field and collaborate.
Okay.
So
what does a collaboration look like?
Well, for me, it is an interview series that I'll be starting as soon as I can get people to schedule. We've got them on the phone and we've got commitments, but I'm going to be doing interviews with a lot of the cultural venues, the museums, the theater groups, and the like here, and ask them to tell us about their facility or their venue and give us a secret, something nobody else might know, and use it as a way to remind our guest that there are still things here when it's time for them to be able to travel. And it keeps all of us in the forefront. We've also talked about selling each other's products on online stores or when the physical plants open to be able to sell in gift shops. I also have been working with more coaches and talking about collaborating by offering retreats here at the inn. And we can talk about it. We can even plan dates. We just can't actually have anything happening here right now.
So what I'm hearing is this is a fantastic time for relationship building. And we're really at the top of our 10 minutes for this interview. So quickly, before it's time to go, how can people reach you if they'd like to connect, if they'd like to know more? What should they do?
They can find me online. There's my profile, linkedin.com in Amy L1, and on Facebook, Amy Lindner-Lesser with hyphens in my name.
Okay.